All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, so this lesson is going to be a continuation of the previous lesson entitled, Be Careful How You Treat Brothers. Okay, Yahushai spoke often about treating the Akim as you would like to be treated, which is part of fulfilling the law. When you narrow it down to its core values, that and worshiping the Most High, loving the Most High with all your heart, mind, and soul. All right, so we're going to continue on where we left off, and I read 1 John chapter 3 verse 15. So I'm going to continue in verse 16. It says, "Hereby perceive we the love of the Most High, because He laid down His life for us." Now, Yahushai was that sacrifice and that example of how we ought to be towards one another. Okay, because Yahushai commanded us to what? To love one another. You see, and it's something that really we should want to do inherently. Okay, because the spirit of humility is upon us, of understanding that it's more than just you. If it was just you, you would have brought yourself into the truth. You would have taught yourself. You would not be amongst the body. But the Most High has brought us amongst this body in order to learn from one another and grow together. Okay? Because we are a body. And so continuing on in verse 16, it says, "And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren." You see, we should be willing to sacrifice our lives for Yahushai's sheep, okay? For the brothers that actually believe in Yahushai. That's what He expects. As a matter of fact, it talks about that in Sirach. Okay, so this is Sirach chapter 24, verse 34. "Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom." All right, now this is Solomon talking, and he's saying that the things that he sought out, that wisdom really revealed unto him, okay, was not only for the benefit of just himself, but also for the benefit of all those who seek what he sought, which was wisdom. Okay? And so understanding comes with receiving wisdom. The answer to the questions that most people ask, but they don't have the true answer to, it comes only through wisdom. And this is something that can really only be attained, like the scriptures say, how can you learn without a teacher, roughly paraphrasing in the book of Romans. These things can only be attained if there's charity involved. Somebody actually shares the information. Otherwise, it's just a secret, And that's what we're doing as a body, openly disclosing this information to our people, okay, on the internet, out there in public, on the highways and byways every week, okay? And so this word is being made known, but only the elect are going to receive, you see? And so we're sacrificing more than just our time when we go out there in the highways and byways, the way that we're portrayed amongst the society, okay? That's a sacrifice. And so those things the Most High takes into account, okay? And that's part of storing our treasures up in heaven. So I'm going to go back here to 1 John chapter 3, okay, in verse 16. It says, continuing in the middle, "And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren." Okay? So not just for Yahushai. Well, and when you do it for Yahushai, in turn, when you lay down your lives for the brethren, in turn, you're doing it for Yahushai. I'm going to say it like that. Okay? When you lay down your lives for the brethren, your life for the brothers, for the Akim, you are in turn laying down your life for Yahushai. Okay. And so in verse 17 it says, but whoso hath this world's good, and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of the Most High in him? If you have something that a brother needs, and the Most High has blessed you with that gift, okay, if that carnal gift, or you are in a position to help a brother and you hold back that which really doesn't belong unto you in the first place, and the brother is a sincere brother who sincerely needs help, and you hold back that that thing that was given to you really to give to him at that time, how can you say you love him if you hold him back when he is in need? Not in want, but when he is in need, when a brother needs help. Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai does not neglect those who need him, who cry out to him. You see, Zechariah 1:3 says, turn ye unto me and I will turn unto thee. Okay, so we have to kind of spark that fire, so to speak. But when a brother actually, like I said, is in need, then help the brother. That's what Yahushua taught us. If you don't feel like helping, if it's feels like a chore, then how can you say that the love of the Most High dwells in you? You can't say that. You see, because you're not being sincere with it. The scripture said the Most High loveth a cheerful giver. All right. So I'm gonna continue on in verse 18. It says, my children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue. Right. Because when it's time to help a brother, you could have said all the words to convince him that, you love the brothers and that you charitable. But when it's time to give, and when it's time to show your love by your actions, you come short. Coming short shows you that you didn't really believe in what you said, man. You see? And so we don't want to be hypocrites either. So we must show our faith by our works, okay? Because being charitable, it requires you to have faith, okay? Because you have to believe that the Most High is going to give you back that which you have given, all right? And it says, and hereby we know that. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me read verse 18 completely. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. All right. So in your works, we ought to show our love by our works. Okay. It says, and hereby we know that we are of the truth and shall assure our hearts before him. If our hearts condemn us, the Most High is greater than our heart and knoweth all things. But if our hearts condemn us not, then we have confidence towards the Most High. Okay? And so your conscience will alert you, if you in the spirit, hey, you're not being charitable, you're not being on point. You see? And the Most High requires us to do that which is good. And so that still small voice within us will let us know if we are examining ourselves, whether we're going in the right path or not. All right. Let me see here. All right. So I'm going to keep going some more on this. It says, verse 22, and whatsoever we ask, we receive of him because we keep his commandments. So if you want those blessings that you pray for, okay, spiritually to increase, because we want to pray. I'm gonna get this example real quick. Oops. Increase. Okay. This is Luke chapter 17, and I'm going to read verse 5. It says, "And the apostles said unto the Lord," which is Yahushai, "increase our faith." So they requested of Yahushai to increase their faith. Okay, and indeed Yahushai did increase our faith. He did increase their faith, but he did it over the dispensation of time, and it required the men who asked for the faith to actually put in efforts and put in work and put in deeds, and their faith was increased. You see, Yahushai's answer said, "If ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed, you might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you." Okay, that seed of faith, okay, that we have is this truth. Okay, when we first receive it, it's a seed. It's small. Okay, it hasn't grown up yet. But as we get cultivated, so to speak, this as our belief gets cultivated, okay, you got to put in that work, okay, before you can really see the leaves and the branches sprout out unto a fruitful tree. Okay, and so it's something that takes time. Okay, now the Most High will increase you, okay, because the scripture does say the Most High giveth the increase, but it takes time, you see. And so we have to have patience for our faith to be increased. But I just wanted to get that as an example, okay. I wanted to get that as an example. I'm gonna go back to what I was reading previously in 1 John chapter 3. All right. It says, "And whatsoever you ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments." So because the apostles kept those commandments, they their faith was increased, okay, over the course of time. All right, because they were brotherly. They did these things in sincerity. All right. It says, let me see. "Because we do his commandments and do these things that are pleasing in his sight." All right. Continuing on in verse 23, "And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his son Yahushua HaMashiach, and love one another as he gave us commandment. And he that keepeth his commandments dwelleth in him, and he in him. And hereby we know that he abideth in us, and by the Spirit which he gave us, which he hath given us." Okay, so we know that Yahushua is in us because we have that spirit of benevolence towards one another. Okay, as we believe in Yahushua, okay, we ought to keep his commandments. Okay, and that main commandment, man, like I said, fear the Most High with all your heart, okay, with all your mind, with all your soul. Exalt him as much as you can, okay, but also, too, man, love one another, man. Love the brothers, all right? So I'm going to get this scripture here in Romans 14th chapter, okay, and I'm going to start at verse 10. "But why doest thou judge thy brother? Or why doest thou set at naught thy brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Hamashiach." So why are you thinking of a brother lesser than you, or of less importance than you? Why is it that in your mind you are more important to the Lord than one brother? Okay, why is that? Because there's a hindrance, okay? There's a disconnect there between between that thought process and the Lord, man. Okay, that we ought not to think like that towards one another, but it should be every man really should be esteeming himself equal. I'm sorry, less than another brother. Okay, because it's just a form of humility that we ought to carry. All right, and it prevents any backup in the flowing of the Spirit. Okay, when everybody is charitable and everybody's on point. Okay, as far as that's concerned. All right, because when you give, it makes the other person who's receiving want to give more. You see, and so it's just that energy that keeps going. But I'm gonna keep reading here. In verse 11, it says, For it is written, as I live, saith Yahweh, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to the Most High. And so if we know that we're going to eventually be judged according to our words and our deeds, whether they be good or bad, we ought to do the best that we can to keep the Lord's commandments. Okay, and this is something that is very important to him. It says, verse 12, So then every one of us shall give account of himself to the Most High. Okay, and when you, are upon that judgment seat, when you are before that judgment seat, man, okay, if you are found wanting, then you will not be happy with what the Lord's judgment is. Okay, but you're going to have to accept it no matter what it is. Okay, and so, hey, we have to give mercy if we plan on receiving mercy. As the scriptures say, mercy rejoiceth over judgment. Okay, being compassionate, being empathetic, because the Lord is merciful. He had mercy on us by giving his son up for sacrifice for our sins. Okay. All right. So continuing on here, it says, let us not, in verse 13, it says, let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or occasion to fall in his brother's way. So if we see somebody, causing another brother to err, okay, or to stumble, like we read, like we went into that word offend, okay, in the previous lesson. That's basically what this is going into, putting a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. We ought not to do that. We ought not to offend our brothers. Okay. It says, that's really the point, that I wanted to make, I'm going to just read it again. Verse 13, let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather. Okay, so don't nitpick, what you see in a brother, but at the same time, you got stuff that you got to work on, that you're not willing to work on, but you want to tell another brother to work on it. You know what I'm saying? On the same thing that you nitpicking on, okay, on another brother, the same thing, you're doing the same thing. Okay, it's extremely. That's one of the Most High. He does not like hypocrisy, man. Okay, that's why we say, we speaking to ourselves when we doing these videos like this, because we don't want to be found hypocrites. Okay, and we are speaking knowing that the Most High is examining us as we speak, as we do the video. So we got to examine ourselves before we even do the video to know that, hey, man, okay, I'm going to do my best to bring out an edifying video, okay? But if you're not right, it's going to be exposed, man. You see, like Ananias and Sapphira. So we have to be completely open with the Lord, have to make sure that we have a personal relationship with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, asking for mercy, praying, doing those things that the Most High has pleasure in, so his wrath doesn't come upon us. All right. Because we're not exempt from judgment. No one is until they actually are saved. Okay. Now, when I say we're not exempt from judgment, I'll say this: we're not saved yet, so we don't know, if we are just all out in the clear. Because, hey, the Lord, even though he may save some of us, some of us being of the elect, okay, he's still gonna judge, and chastise. So, hey, we're not just in the clear, even if we are of the elect. Yeah, I'll speak with myself. Even if I am of the elect, I know that I can still get chastised if I'm going off. So there's no reason for me to say, oh no, I can't get caught up. That's proud as a proud spirit. So, like I said, the Lord's looking for humility. All right. And I'm gonna read this latter part of the verse. But judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. Okay? We ought to look out for one another, man. Okay? Not set out for one another's destruction. All right? We already have seen the fruits of that with our people. Okay? So, Abarat Tazah, this is an edifying lesson. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.